evening from Western Mongolia in a very remote region called the Altai Mountains. This video is going to be spread out over the next couple of days, and it's all about storytelling through travel videography, and it all starts right now. Let's go. The light is fading at the end of our first day in the Altai region of Western Mongolia, and I wanted to jump back into the vlog to explain to you a little bit more about my thought process behind this video. So this is essentially going to be like a tutorial regarding storytelling through travel videography, and I want to spend the next couple days kind of touching on a few points that I find are really relevant when you're looking to make travel videos, and those are things like culture, tradition and food and language, and the people and portraits, and really trying to highlight what their lifestyle is like in such an amazing part of the world like here. It also comes down to sort of landscape and really epic footage, like great drone clips and like really good time lapse and possibly even hyperlapse, and when is the best time to capture that footage, and how does it like work in your video to flow. So we're going to talk about that spread out over the next couple of days, because here in this location it is just the perfect place to do so. And if you're new to the channel, I work as a professional travel videographer, and I'm currently on assignment right now with Brendan Van Son, and we are co-leading an adventure photography tour, and this is definitely an adventure and really the perfect place to share this tutorial with you. Good morning. It is the next day, about 5:30 a.m. and most of the crew is actually up shooting the sunrise, which is really cool. We got some nice light off on the horizon and some rain just like filtering across the sky, which is perfect for a time lapse. And one of the first sort of tips of this storytelling through travel videography is time lapse and hyperlapse. If you can use it to your advantage, a lot of cameras nowadays have a built-in movie time lapse feature or an intervalometer where you can kind of create a time lapse in camera, which is really handy. Saves a lot of time from back in the day when we had to take 700 individual photos, stitch them all together, etc. But one of the reasons why time lapse is so good in travel videography is because it helps sort of transition time. And the idea for us when we're on location is from one day to the next, because now that Brendan stopped daily vlogging, his vlogs are spreading over like 2 or 3 days. This vlog is going to be spread over 3 days, and we want to try and show you that movement of say 3 days, but only in like 10 minutes. So time lapse is a really useful feature to show day to night, or quickly transition in the next day. So one of the ways that I do that is that I'll try and do an evening time lapse, or like a star time lapse, and then transition that into a dark morning time lapse on manual settings that goes from dark to light. So how I'll set it up in the camera, for example, right now we're at f8 ISO 100 and 1/3 of a second, and that was underexposed to begin with, but as it got brighter over time, it sort of goes from dark to bright to transition you, the viewer, into today. So welcome. This is day number 2 in Mongolia. Another really important part about storytelling when creating travel videos is to show culture and tradition. And I think in a place like Western Mongolia, where we are right now in the Altai Mountains, you've got this amazing cultural tradition of eagle hunting that has been practiced for over 1,000 years, and it is a very, very photogenic opportunity. So if you can see just behind me here, there's a girl in sort of a white coat with an eagle, a golden eagle on her arm. And part of the experience here in Mongolia for the BBS adventure is for her to sort of pose for us, I guess, and try and get portraits of this amazing traditional experience here in Mongolia. So she's gonna get up on her horse and I'm gonna be able to get some B-roll of that, which is amazing. So if you're in a travel destination, try and look for sort of a cultural activity that you might be able to do, which you can pay for, of course. If it's gonna be like a tour or an experience, you know, it makes sense to pay for it. And then you can get this kind of footage. Our little morning session is done, and even though that was a staged activity, here's a little bit of behind the scenes info for you. As a professional, I actually travel with talent release forms for my business, Snell Media, and figure that I might be able to sell some of that stock footage even after the fact that I'm on assignment right now with Brendan. And we were talking about this, and both of us think that it's a good idea to have the daughter and the father sign these release forms. Brendan has one electronically for his business, and I've got the actual printed paper that I travel around with me. So side bit of information, but it is good to have some sort of a release form if you plan on trying to monetize the footage that you're creating while traveling. So yeah, that's like a whole other conversation, but I thought I'd throw it in here because we're doing it, and it is kind of part of travel videography and storytelling sometimes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Lunch break. Another one of the very important things to consider when filming travel videos and storytelling in travel videos is food. Food is a big part of culture and tradition in many, many different places all over the world. And even though we're in a super remote part of Mongolia, we're still having a cooked lunch, which is amazing. This isn't going to be the most like amazing delicacy by any means, but it does give you a good idea of food out in this incredibly remote part of Mongolia. So yeah, let's cook up a feast and share with you some of Mongolian food. Oh, I got the lens. Lunch is over. It was delicious. What do you guys think?
It was lunch.
Yeah, remember to film your food. We made it to our second accommodation here on this vlog about travel, videography, and storytelling, and this is amazing. We are at a traditional yurt. We were actually meant to be camping this evening, but the weather kind of turned on us and got a bit rough, and it's not looking like it's meant to get any better overnight. So the guys made a last-minute decision to stay here in these yurts, which is really, really cool, and brings me to the point of embracing the journey. A lot of travel videography is sort of unknown, you know, you're on this adventure, you're on this journey and this experience, and the idea is to capture it as you go. It's nice to have these preconceived ideas about what you want to film, like, you know, food and people, landscape, the iconic, but it also is really important just be up for anything. So this is where we're sleeping tonight, and it is going to be cozy and pretty comfortable and similar to last night, and just all about the adventure. So very cool to embrace it and live the journey, and that is such a big part of travel videography and storytelling. Even if it's the unknown, just go with the flow. Morning. It is the next day at about 5:45 a.m. We are up again to shoot sunrise, as always, on Photography Adventures. Now, a somewhat easy thing for us, but maybe a little looked over for others, is landscapes. So when you're traveling and storytelling through travel videography, it's really good to find just general B-roll of landscapes and some of the beautiful surrounding area of wherever you are. And here in Mongolia, it's pretty nice. We've got beautiful landscapes, so why not get some photos of it and some B-roll and throw it in here to help tell this story.
Why landscapes are important? So that people can see what the landscape looks like. It gives people a perspective of what you're going through and what you're driving through, and it gives you a feel for the environment. But it's more important to capture, I think, the scale of the landscape. So, because I think a lot of times when people see the video of landscapes, they see kind of flat, and you don't see how big things are. So, yeah, landscapes are important, but I think the most important thing in videography of the landscapes is trying to show the scale. That's also the hardest thing, for sure.
That is the end of another sunrise session here in Western Mongolia. What an incredible location. Really nice to get a bit of information from Brendan there regarding landscapes and especially scale, which is really good to know or to think about going into your own travel videography storytelling. So what we're doing now is we're gonna hit the road again and continue our journey. I know this vlog is getting a little bit long, but I hope I've still got your attention, because this adventure in Mongolia definitely deserves the coverage, I guess, and I hope you're enjoying this video. So we're gonna keep going. We've got another location in the further north, closer to the Russia border, and hopefully we get some really nice landscapes there, and then we'll probably wrap this video up once we arrive there. Wow, we just saw a camel train in real life. That was phenomenal. Always expect the unexpected. That was possibly the coolest, I guess, wild animal, but they're not wild. But how often do you see camels? At least the traveling that I've done, it's not often that I'm in a land where there's camels. So here in Western Mongolia, that was just so cool. That is pure culture right there. Those are nomads, no idea where they're going, but they've got a whole train of stuff with them, and to be able to photograph that and to get that footage to share with you in this video, that's what tradition and culture and portraits and landscape all mixed together can look like, and it is amazing.
Nothing like being wild and free and crazy, yeah, total freedom. I love it.
Great. Oh yeah. Is it close? Oh yeah. Get the nuts in there. You gotta get your nuts in. And our day is coming to an end here in Mongolia. This is, I believe, the third day of this video and this vlog, so it is a little bit long, but I hope you have been enjoying it so far. It's been a crazy adventure here in the western part of this country. Super remote and really good location for filming this video. I do find it kind of funny though, how because I've spread it over 3 days, the flow is a little bit off and it's not as cohesive as maybe I would like. like, but it is still nice to be able to share with you these tips on travel videography and storytelling, things like the people, the landscapes, the culture, you know, the iconic, the drone footage, the time lapse, all of these aspects and effects culminate together to create a fantastic travel video. So things to keep in mind for your next adventure, wherever the journey takes you, to try and integrate these things into your videos, as well as things like sound design and transitions and color grading. There's so much more that goes into videography, but these are just some basic things to consider when you make your next travel video. So gonna sign off from here in Mongolia. We've still got a few days left to explore this incredible region. Oh, and one thing I wanted to mention but I forgot earlier is a really good example of incredible travel videography and storytelling is a buddy of mine named Bryn North, who's from South Africa, and he actually made a video from here in Mongolia. I'll link it in the description, and it is insane, absolutely amazing work from Bryn, so go and check that out. But yes, I'm gonna sign off from here. Stay tuned because we're still in Mongolia for another sort of week of crazy mad adventures, and then the Central Valley, Karakoram, Genghis Khan, all that amazing stuff. So yes, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like it, and I will see you on the next one.